I decided to make this review for one big reason, to tell all those inbred Jizwell critics that didn't like the movie because it wasn't all happy fucking rainbows that every Star Wars fan I've had a conversation with since the opening night has loved Rogue One. It feels like the exact movie that so many people wanted, and I'll admit it has a lot of fan service, some of which was nice and some of which was a little too jarring to say the least. It's completely reasonable, however, that you could dislike this movie. The runtime doesn't exactly give the characters the fleshing out that they need, but for the love of all that is unholy, if you're some whiny piss baby who sits there and tells me that this movie isn't fun, or even that a Star Wars movie has to always be fun, fuck off and watch The Phantom Menace. Now, I definitely enjoyed The Force Awakens, but Rogue One has this spark. It has this feeling of the original trilogy. It represents the power of the Empire so well that it's almost frightening. This is captured through direction, with many of the angles placed low down in shots of stormtroopers or AT-ACTs or Star Destroyers, which is very reminiscent of the opening of the original movie. But it still manages to differentiate itself in every way other than the theme. This is a war movie, straight up Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks shooting a tank, people getting laid the fuck out kind of movie. There's no shoehorned romance we had to watch or awakening of the Force in any character, but that doesn't mean it's humorless and dull. People in my screening were laughing at many points throughout this movie because of characters like K2SO and Chirrut, but not in a oh look Jar Jar steps in the poopy kind of way, but in a sarcastic, almost trying to make good out of a bad situation kind of way. Now for the first maybe 30 minutes of the movie it's a little all over the place, and I guess it has a good reason. It has a lot of character backstory to cover, and it really doesn't get there as far as character development for anyone other than our two leads. The last 45 minutes, however, showcased every little thing that makes Star Wars so popular. It's a display of love from people making this movie. It takes Star Wars and brings it square into 21st century filmmaking, and honestly, if I went in, bought a ticket, sat down, and they only played Darth Vader's few scenes, it would have been money well spent. Now comes my main point about this movie. Remember the bukkake stain of the prequel trilogy? That to many people made the original seem worse, because it taught us things about certain characters that made us think differently about them? Rogue One, however, somehow manages to do the impossible and make Star Wars better. If nothing else, this movie serves to improve your enjoyment of Star Wars, which by itself makes it fantastic. We're going to go into spoilers now, so fuck off if you haven't seen it. Couple of things I want to talk about. CGI Tarkin was pretty decent, sometimes a little off-putting, but mostly all there. Leia, however, does remind me of one of those sex dolls, like the one that guy made of Scarlett Johansson, but other than that, the uses of CG were pretty good. K2SO looked real and present, the dogfighting and Hammerhead ship crashing was also great. Now there's this comic panel that's been going around for a while that really explains my feelings about Vader, in that you never see him just chopping up, and for them to put in this movie such a short scene of him displayed in the way I've always wanted to see, giving me fucking goosebumps. 3PO and R2 cameo took me out of the movie, as did the I don't like you either guy, but almost all the rest of the fan service felt natural. Saw Gerrera's decision to die was a little odd to me, but maybe I missed something about his character. I was fanboying a little bit too hard when watching, to be honest. It was also nice to see animated series characters referenced in the movies. Obviously Saw Gerrera, Chopper was in the movie, you see the Ghost, and one guy calls for Captain Syndulla over the intercom, so it's massively enjoyable as an adult fan of those shows designed for children. But anyway, I give Rogue One a Return of the Jedi out of Empire. Such a short scene. Wow.